Hello, I'm Joshua Kitts, the director of the Composed Dream Game RPG Marketplace, and today I want to talk to you about Widdershins, a game of lost toys. So, Widdershins, designed by Christopher LaHaye and produced by Fool's Moon Entertainment. Yes, it does say Silver Games LLC here as well. But it will be under Fool's Moon Entertainment on our marketplace. Widdershins is a game where you play a toy that has been lost or discarded in some fashion and has come to life. These toys are tough and resilient, and they have a few different characteristics. The game itself is on lined paper, which is very intriguing, and in print looks fantastic. It has some illustrations like this. I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but the text is quite thin, but it's also quite large, and that makes it easy to read. I do find that on PDF it was a little harder, at least on my screen, to read. But printed out, it actually looks, in my opinion, great, and has a very neat and fitting aesthetic for the purposes of the game. So, you play a lost toy. Mechanically, it's a D percentile, and the players always roll for everything. At the start of the game, you have an 80%, and then if you succeed on a roll, that goes down a step to 60%, I believe, and there's a few, and it steps down every time you succeed, but it steps up every time you fail. So you have this interesting kind of ladder and pattern where previous successes make it less likely that you're going to succeed on your next time that you make a check, and so on. Now, when you do a new scene, I believe that steps back up again. There's a similar, there's a mechanic about stuff. So stuff is the magic or the thing that animates you, and it can be kind of described as like dust or grime or water and other such strange things at times, which would be different for different Widdershins, different toys. A Widdershin might also be something quite large, like a human-sized mannequin or something. Now, these are the stuff you spend to do certain things. So you have something that's kind of akin to a class, which has to do with how you were lost. And there's some special things that you have related to that. You have a key, and you can spend things to use your key to do special things, like there's a key that's connected to a padlock key, and that means you can open anything with this key, and you can spend stuff to do that. You also lose stuff first when you take damage. Eventually you could take a serious injury or just die. But it's a relatively relatively straightforward system. You do play in a kind of traditional way with the GM. The GM just never rolls dice. Everything is resolved on percentile. The amount of damage you do is just going to depend on what how you're attacking with. If you're attacking with something, and your key does more damage if you're attacking with it. That's your serious weapon. Widdershins themselves are quite resilient, as are most toys. You can throw them out a window and they'll be fine. So I'm going to read a passage from this, which I think does a good job of setting the tone of the game. Okay, so while I look for that, I might touch on a couple things as I flip through here. So there's a pack. If you have one person from each role in your pack, which would be 4 players, then you get a slight bonus on your rolls. There's 3 different types of keys. Or is there 4 different types of keys? There's a mystery key, a padlock key, a house key, and a car key. And the mystery is the one that can kind of replicate the other 3, but with some limitations. You use stuff. You also have tokens and rituals, so you can use stuff to do rituals, which can kind of be like magic. Like a Widdershin might mark all the other toys in his pack with a marker, and that might make them braver or something for the scene that's coming up, and that would cost a point of stuff. And you do have things like tokens, so you start with 3 tokens, which can be kind of anything that you come up with. So some examples here are a large button to use as a shield, or a crossbow crafted out of clothespins, rubber bands, and toothpicks. But you might also have a grappling hook that's made out of paperclip and thread. Interesting things. So, the passage, which tells you a little bit about the opposition you might be facing in Widdershins. On page 4. The Hollow Ones. You're not alone. There are others like you, other Widdershin. But then there are the Hollow Ones. These are like you, toys discarded and animate, but they're missing something. They are devoid of positive emotions. They are cold, hungry, evil. They seek to hurt human families. They seek to snuff out the Widdershin. They cut and burn and torture, and they do it with an unnerving delight. Some Widdershin avoid the Hollow, some hunt them. They can't be left to live. Have you ever encountered a Hollow? Did they see you? Did you have to fight or flee? The Hollow are stubbornly hard to destroy. You always think it's the last time you'll see them, yet they keep coming back, burned, scarred, or broken. The doll was kept in her original box, never opened, covered in dust. She awakens, angry for having been left and neglected. She hunts for those who have known the love of the girl. She looks shiny and perfect, untouched by a child's hands. She will always look shiny and perfect. But inside, she's empty. So a lot of the writing in Widdershins is short and punchy like this. There's very good use of punctuation, like semicolons and M dashes and other such things, which I always appreciate as well. It's short. It's 34 pages if you for the total page count. 31 if you're not including the character sheet and so on. It's a bit of a steal. The print version is only $10 Canadian right now, at least. So snap it up while it's at that great price. And the PDF is $4. And just another nice little bit of flavor is Widdershin always refer to a family they're protecting as like the father and the mother and the boy and the girl. And if they meet a stranger, they might call them just the man or the woman, or maybe the man in the white coat and things like that. They avoid using proper names. Just a neat little bit of additional flavor there. So, I hope that's piqued, as I said, your interest in Widdershins, and you can head over to the Composed Games RPG Marketplace at the link below and pick it up from Fool's Moon Entertainment. We have also recently got in print copies of Fox Magic, which we've had on our site as just a PDF for a long time, but this is the first time we've gotten in print copies. This is a game where you play kitsune, so foxes of Japanese folklore with many tails, as you gain experience, your fox gets more tails. So perhaps also have a look at that. Well, thank you, and as always, good gaming.